I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to talk to y'all today, even though my throat is killing me. But welcome to the chat, y'all. We are here to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 2. Episode 2. And even though it was slightly better than Episode 1, not by much. Not by much. Hold on one second. I have to get my screen up. But it's nice to have you guys. Going ahead and let me know that you are in the chat by dropping your side dish, please and thank you. Also, take that poll at the top of the chat. Take the poll at the top of the chat. Drop your side dish. I brought a little strawberry shortcake. That's one of my favorite dishes. Come on in, you guys. Come on in. You are rocking with DYANAROZAY. I'm sorry, I can't never get my screens up when I go live. It always takes a second. But also take that poll at the top of the chat where we are discussing who wears the crown and who is the damn clown, for Pete's sake. Oh my goodness. My girl Kelly, I shouldn't even call her my girl Kelly. Kelly's pissing me off. Kelly is pissing me off this season. I think she's trying to pull a Kenya, and I don't think she knows that Kenya is a different breed. She has a different set of chops. She's never going to fill those shoes. You know what I'm saying? We'll get there, but as of right now, that girl's getting on my nerves. Anyway, crown or clown, y'all know how to do it. Whoever gets the most votes wears the crown, and whoever gets the least amount of votes will be the clown by default. Okay, it changes every week. It changes every week, but come on in. Welcome to all of my fabulous cousins. I love you guys. We got Miss Ty in the house. Hey, Ty. Welcome, girl. Nice to have you. I got baked beans here. Okay, I love me a baked beans, baby. Come on in, come on in. You put a little pork in it, a little salt pork. You said, what's cracking? What is cracking, baby? Nice to have you. Nice to have you, Miss Lulu. What is up? Golden Life, nice to have you. Dark and Lovely, what is up? She's one of my members. I love me some Dark and Lovely, child. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys would like to become a member, there is a little pin at the top of the chat. That's how you help my channel grow and survive. Golden Life got the pasta salad. Welcome, 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 y'all. Okay, listen, we're gonna get into it because I gotta get my big self out here on the trail and do my 10,000 steps. Do my 10,000 steps, okay? What is up, Miss Dre? Nice to have you. You see, you didn't feel like cooking today, but you got the iced tea and the lemonade. Listen, that's okay. Everybody does their part. Y'all know how family does it, okay? Sometimes you up, sometimes you got to just, cruise with everybody else. That's cool. That's cool. All right, listen. So I'm going to start with Phaedra and Aiden. Y'all know they have that little, like a monologue at the beginning where they give you a few snippets of everyone's life. Did y'all see how Phaedra snuck in that her ex-husband Apollo is not only broke, but that he's a drunk too? Okay. And she did all of this around talking about their oldest son, Aiden, learning how to drive. And she was like, it was just, last year, it feels like it was just last week in my mind that he was in the back seat and I was driving him to school. Right. And she said, now he's driving me around and his father. He is the designated driver for his daddy. And production is like, well, does he, is he a designated driver for you too? She said, oh, no, I'm not a drunk. She said, no, baby, not me. I'm a Christian woman. I'm not a drunk. And not only that, I don't need my son to drive me anywhere. I have a driver. I pay somebody. I used to drive, but that doesn't interest me anymore. Okay. I pay someone to drive me around. My son is just getting his comeuppance, as a 16-year-old learning how to drive. He's been driving since he was 12 years old. I said, bitch, no, you didn't slide in that not only is Apollo a drunk, but you wanted everybody to know that he's a broke too. He's a brokey. He can't even call it Uber. He calls our son to pick his ass up. Okay, Apollo, at least you made the season, baby. We was trying to figure out if you was going to do it, but yes. And that was in the monologue. That was probably the most interesting part of Phaedra's time on this episode, okay? Come on in, everyone. Welcome. Anyway, next up is Porsha, Kelly, and Michelle. K Michelle. Ooh, Kelly got rope a motherfucking doped. Okay, I know some people think that Kelly won. Kelly did not win this hand. I'm not sure that she's going to either, okay? But let's get into it. So let's start with how she lost right up top. That curl, that pin curl, that swoop on her head that should have been a pin curl that literally gave her the finger and said, baby, not today. I'm just going to fall right on down. You lucky I'm in the middle of your forehead because I could be someplace else. I don't know if Kelly didn't have the funds to pay a stylist, a hairdresser, whoever does her wigs, whatever the case may be. But that heifer came in a polka dot headscarf that tied under the chin, and she didn't take it off like most people do when you go places. That might be something you have to put on to get into the next building. No, that heifer kept that shit tied up under her chin the entire time, which is how you know she simply didn't have the money to get her hair done. So she came in with that horrible man-made swoop that should have been a pin curl, like I said, but it said, no, not today. Not today. And it just escaped her. Okay, come on in. Welcome. Hey, Miss Glow, nice to have you. Child, she didn't have the cha-ching to get her hair done. And she already said that she couldn't get her dog's hair done anymore because she was spending some ridiculous amount of money to take him. That's what she said anyway. Who knows? But a ridiculous amount of money to take her dog to get his hair colored. And she said, I can't do that anymore. I'm like broke. So she couldn't get her own shit done either. That's why she showed up like that. She ain't fooling no damn body. I was like, girls, you're going to take the scarf off now that y'all at the tea? But it doesn't matter. Porsha invited Kelly and K Michelle to have tea and some sort of finger sandwiches. And baby, they probably had maybe a cup of tea before K Michelle said, bitch, y'all got any whiskey back there? Something a little stronger? And then it was whiskey for the table. Everybody was just drinking for a long time because the way the production team cut the scene, you could see that it was like, oh, they've been here for a minute, literally drinking up. So we know that Porsha can handle her liquor. She can drink a little bit. And she was literally drinking just enough to soften up Kelly. Okay. What's up, y'all? What's up? Come on in. Hey, Diaries. But they're talking, they're laughing. It seems like they're in a good place. They're making fun of Drew Sidora and her man Black being in the cell phone at Porsha's dinner party, right? The formal dinner party. Anyway, that man was on the phone for about a good hour. Actually, 3 hours. My bad, 3 hours. And yeah, K Michelle drops on everybody. He likes being on the phone, okay? Because every time I pick my phone up, he's in my DMs telling me how good I look and, how fine I am and what he'd like to do to me, that type of stuff, which has everybody gasping. Because y'all do remember last season when Porsha said, I got receipts that show, she tells this to Drew, I got receipts that your ass is talking to a man named Black. Drew denies it. Not this year, though. She didn't deny it. She said, listen, he's my friend. We do a lot of things in the sunlight and after dark, period. But yeah, Porsha got that story out there last year, just so you know, because when she brings up the next story, I'm not so sure that it wasn't true. And that's why I asked y'all to take that poll at the top of the chat. But now that Kelly's guard is down and she's having fun with Porsha, she forgets her allegiance to her BFF, Shamia. And she says to Porsha, I'm happy you invited me out, P. I'm really enjoying getting to know you. I think that we could be friends. We have a lot in common. We're business women. We're both mothers, blah, 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 blah. And while she's saying this, Portia's looking like, now's the time, bitch. Because that is literally, she cocked her head to the side. She was like, I agree. I don't know why Kelly didn't see this, because I was like, Kelly, girl. First off, your BFF says on camera just last episode that the two of you are so close that she asked her husband if the two of you could be sister wives. She wanted to share her husband with Kelly. And she said, Gerald didn't go for it. Otherwise, it'll be a go. Otherwise, it'll be a go. And now you are talking about how you want to be friends with your BFF's ex-friend, somebody she don't F with at all. I didn't understand her logic. I thought that that was slimy, actually. It's one thing to show up, because when you were at talking to Shamia in last week's episode, you were saying things like, I'm surprised she invited me and stuff like that. But now you're at the table kind of like, you know, slurping Porsha up. Girl, I'm happy to be here. I think we can be friends. I think we got things in common. I'm not sure that that was the right thing to do. I don't know if I would want my BFF to say things like that about somebody I call an enemy now, but whatever. Anyway, after she says all that, Porsha says, baby, I'm not, you know, in year one of reality TV. I'm an OG, so I'm just going to lay it on the line. Before you and I can consider being friends, we got some stuff we need to clear up. That shit you said over me last season, how I sleep with everybody's husband and all that stuff, that hurt my feelings. And my feelings don't get hurt easy, ho. Just so you know, I'm not somebody who be crying all the time. And she's right. As much as people want to act like Porsha, you know, she's sensitive to X, Y, and Z, Porsha takes a licking and she keeps on ticking. She'll have a few moments where she's like, you know, I'm upset about this, but that's it. Some of the shit that Porsha has been accused of, the things she have said, the things she have done, most people would be so ashamed that they would never show their faces again, let alone on reality TV. Porsha knows how to get over that hump and get back on a new hump. Okay? Anyway, after she says all of that, Porsha says, it's very interesting to me that you would say that about me when you were out here sleeping with married men. And this shocks Kelly. Kelly's like, who? When? Where? What are you saying? You know what I'm saying? She was like, you were out here sleeping with married men. And you're accusing me of sleeping with a married man. So now Kelly's like, I need the what, the when, the where, the how, the why, bitch. Give me everything. I need to know what you're talking about. And Porsha said, cool. Last year, the BET Awards. And somehow RHOA has bought that little clip from BET to show that Kelly was at them damn BET Awards last year. So they are backing Porsha's story on this show. She said last year, as was at the BET Awards, and you met up with him. And later that night, he got you into a bed. Y'all was over there at the hotel. And it's interesting because you ended up taking a phone call where you mentioned Dennis and me, and he overheard it and sent a text to Dennis. So now we know that whoever this friend is, she didn't say sent the text to Dennis. She said sent the text to her. But whoever this, or to her friend, whoever the friend is has to be Dennis. Because what man is going to send a text saying, I'm in the bed with Kelly and she over here talking about you and Porsha? Who else would he send that text to? So Porsha, I caught that. Porsha says that the man sent the text to the other man. And I'm like, girl, it didn't happen that way. He sent the text to Dennis. You just didn't want to say Dennis's name. But that's cool. Because Porsha said, I can get the text if that's what you need. I'll get it. But after he left your ass in that bed, he went home to his wife. So while you're out here, you know, being a complete hypocrite, trying to make jokes off my name, trying to come up off a story, a stale ass story at that stale ass story you had last year on my name, you should have been talking about the real husband that you was actually sleeping with. That would have been more interesting. All true. All true, all true, all true. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Anyway, excuse me. Kelly is not happy about this at all. In fact, she is fit to be tied. Porsha, are you serious? How dare you? But Porsha don't come up off her neck. She said, girl, I can only tell you what I know. And every time she said I wasn't, Porsha said, yes, you did. Yes, you was. To the point of where Kelly gets out of character. Porsha, are you serious? Like she's screaming in this real nice, tea and crumpets environment. Anyway, Miss K. Michelle doesn't know which way to turn. So she's in confessional. K. Michelle was like, did y'all really bring me here for this bullshit? Like, what is going on? And this is tacky to be accusing somebody of sleeping with somebody else's husband. It might be, but girl, you should have watched season 16 because that's the only thing that ever came out of Kelly's mouth until she got into it with Britt. And then she started changing her story to be more in alignment with her cussing out Britt. But the entire season long was her going after Porsha. And this is after, again, her BFF set the story straight because Shamia was actually team Porsha. Y'all remember that? She kept saying things like, I was there. I know how Porsha and Simon really met. It's not like that, y'all. They were completely separated. That woman was already pregnant. Like, Shamia was telling all the details to clear Porsha. But this is still the dumbass story that we got to hear yet again this season. So anyway, doesn't matter. At this point, I guess Porsha said something to the effect of, maybe this was the wrong place and time to bring this up, but I'm about to give you the same work you tried to give to me. Because now they don't want to break the fourth wall. Because Kelly's like, this is a public place. She said, bitch, this is as public as what you did to me. Don't forget it. You said that shit on TV. I'm going to say it on TV. And then I just want you to know that I'm nobody to play with. Okay? Whatever game, whatever trick you think you got up your sleeve, because all of this started when you started getting closer to Shamia. Basically also letting her know again, you and Shamia's relationship, this friendship that y'all want to act like y'all have had since forever. I know Shamia too. And I know she ain't never mentioned your fucking name. The first time I met you was on this show. So all this history that you and Shamia got, when that girl has been my friend since I was a kid, don't play with me. I really enjoyed this scene. Y'all know I like to give it a little extra, but really you got to read between the lines. Shamia coming onto this first episode and saying, this is my BFF forever, 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 and all that stuff, making it seem like her and Kelly has all this history when we know that they don't, because you wouldn't have been working so hard as you was last season to clear Porsha's name about Simon. You had several sit downs where you did that. So no, I'm team Porsha right here in this scene because I know exactly what you were doing. And she was so caught off guard. I'm not so sure that Porsha was lying. Personally, I think she does have the receipts. I think the shit did go to Dennis. That's why Dennis got on the horn last night and said grand opening, grand closing. Isn't this a damn restaurant that just opened in December? And your ass is closed now? Like, or whenever it opened, the grand opening was, I think it was over the summer. But he was like, wasn't it just closed in December? And then he came back after Kelly called him Dim Misha. Dennis got back under her comments and said, I think you meant Den as in Dennis, Misha. He said, but what can I expect from a bitch who can't do math? If you don't know how to do math, you probably can't spell either. Oh my goodness. Horrible, horrible. She didn't respond to him after that. Come on in, everybody. Anyway, after it was all said and done, we get Kelly in her confessional saying that she can't body slam that big bitch, referring to Porsha. Referring to Porsha. She said, I can't slam her. I can't body slam that hoe. So I'd rather hug her, okay? And she says to Porsha, are you going to hug me like you did Drew? And Porsha said, hell yeah, let's hug. Okay. Then Porsha took that big ample bosom and smashed that girl's head into her chest. like she was a Iyanla Vanzant or something. She said, okay, girl, we've squashed the beef. It's over. It was actually funny. Anyway, but after I watched it, I just said, girl, you folded like a lawn chair. That was the best scene. That was the best scene of the episode, in my opinion. I liked it. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Anyway, I can't wait to see what happens next because I don't know. I don't know. We got to get better from Kelly. Kelly got to get better. That's all I'm going to say. She is going after an OG. She has to pull more weight. She got to do more. She said, right where you need to be. She sure did. Come on, girl. Let me burp you real quick so you can go sit your ass down and take this back to your leader. Okay. Anyway, after that, did y'all take the poll? I think that's what I need to do now, the poll. So like I said, whose side are you on? Miss Porsha or Kelly? And whoever gets the most votes actually wears the crown. And you guys said that you agree with Porsha, 74%. You said what's good for the goose, baby, is good for Kelly. So what's good for the goose is good for Kelly. And then Kelly gets 26% of the vote. Okay, so she is the clown in this episode, and rightly so. Rightly so. I'm happy that we all agree this time. All right, let's get back to the storytelling. Now we are at Pinky and Dave's house. Pinky Cole, who owns Slutty Vegan. We learn a little bit more about their family. Pinky is a very accomplished woman, very accomplished, literally. Just, you can tell she's very smart, has her hands on a lot of pots. She built a $100 million brand with Slutty Vegan. And I don't know if anybody's ever been. I've been multiple times. It's actually super good. But she had this gimmick that she does with, hold on, y'all. I think that my screen has frozen again. Okay, sorry about that. She has this, hey there, Erica. Nice to have you, sweets. She is another member. She said that she loves Pinky. Thank you, girl, for coming in and supporting. I appreciate y'all. And as always, if you'd like to become a member, link is at the top of the chat. But yes, highly accomplished woman. It's a real coup to have her on this show. Literally just the cream de la creme, if you know anything about the show. But I was explaining what made Slutty Vegan like really cool. So everything on the menu is some sort of like everything. French fries is like slutted out fries, menage a trois burger, whatever it is, right? And then when you would come in, they would ask if you're a virgin, if you've been here before or not. And then there's a bunch of people who just start screaming things out. You know what I'm saying? It was just a real cool environment. You go in, you get your food, you eat. It was actually super good, all vegan, super good. You couldn't tell that that was not a beef burger at all, right? But anyways, I say all that to say that she talked a little bit about what happened, how she ended up finding herself in debt. So I told y'all last week, I believe, that it looks like she had a bunch of venture capitalists who wanted to replicate her brand in other cities, right? And when venture capitalists come in, you basically lose control of all of your business. They decide what happens next. So if they are like, you know what, the thing that made you very unique, like screaming out the names of the burgers and all that stuff, they might say, we don't want to do that. That might offend people in Colorado. Like, we're going to put you everywhere. And in order to franchise, every business has to be exactly the same. Pinky said that she didn't like the model. I didn't like what they were trying to do to me, so I wanted my business back. I don't like this. This is something I built. This is my baby. I want it back. And they said, well, hell, you can have it back, but you got to pay everything we paid into it. And she ended up 20 million in debt just from that moment. Okay. She's opening a new one in your hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. And you know I'm from Ohio, baby, Cleveland. It's the, outskirts of Cleveland. But yes. So anyway, she's going to get it back, because if she did it to this point, if Pinky is bad enough to give them venture capitalists back their 20 mil and say, shake a bone, get the hell on, give me my product back, we absolutely know that she is going to get all of it back. Like, all of it. We know that this lady is smart as fuck. And not a lot of people get to do this. When you get this deep in, you either let them take it over, or it all falls, it all crashes. And she said, I'm not going to let it crash. I don't know. This is so interesting to me. I love it. I know that people say they like the business piece, and I can see I dropped 20 people got left this page as soon as I started talking about the business piece, because people hate business. They don't like it. It's like, it gets boring for people. But if you have the mind for it, it's like super fascinating. And I would say she's part of the 1% who's going to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my shit back. I'm going to win. Anyway, she's ended up talking about how her and Dave got together. And she said, girl, I was, me and this man were together for 3 months before I figured out I was pregnant. Okay. We was doing it all over the place like rabbits. We had a shotgun wedding. And then she talked about how she has 3 babies with Dave, 2 bonus children. And here was something that was real interesting. After she said all of that, she said that, when she was at her lowest point in her business, losing everything, Dave was riding the wave in his business, because they both own restaurants. He owns a cheesesteak, I think. He owns a cheesesteak restaurant here, and I think there's multiple. But anyway, he said I was riding a wave. So they had some tough times in that marriage. They didn't say it quite like that, but they did say it like that. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I felt very alone. And he was like, you were not alone. I was with you every night. She said, I don't mean it like that. I meant emotionally, mentally. I was going through like the darkest shit that I could possibly be going through. And you were riding the wave. And she said, but we're still here. But in her confessional, she said, listen, sometimes people get divorced too, but you can tell that she's not a person who lets shit breaks her. She doesn't let stuff break her. And I don't know. I like to see strong women like that. I like to see that type of woman show up on TV. I'm gonna like Pinky. That's all I'm gonna say. But we're gonna see. You said love MBA. You said love business MBA here. Hey. She and Dave need to teach some classes. Yeah, it's really, you just got to have the chops for it, because I'm sure that lady was probably like, how did I get here? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have crazy thoughts, and some people don't even make it through the other side. They'll jump off a building before they see what they can do next. This lady has a soul, a heart that, I don't know, people don't get to see always. If you have the pleasure of being in someone's company who knows how to get to the other side, I might cry. I might, have a breakdown in a moment, but bitch, I'm going to make it to the other side. She has that kind of spirit. Porsha has that kind of spirit. People don't like it in Porsha though, but Porsha has that kind of spirit. And that's what makes these people really good reality TV folks. Okay. Absolutely. Anyway, I enjoyed it. Now let's talk about K. Michelle and her husband, is it Caston? I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, Kay and her husband, Caston, are walking through their new home. And it is super cute, child. All this property, land, a pond, child, everything. Huge property. And I'm assuming it's here in the Atlanta area somewhere. Anyway, Kay in her confessional says, listen, I know people want this beautiful love story, but me and Caston don't have that kind of story. I made that man marry me. We have been on and off again for over 10 plus years. And hell, I was about to marry another man. And I had to get him to either shit or get off the pot when it came to me. So she didn't say exactly what the hell she did to manipulate him into into marrying her, but she basically says that he is a person who doesn't know how to make a decision, which is Freaky Friday to me. It's opening up without saying much. It's opening up, exactly what type of relationship they actually have. Because Kay is a fighter. She is a person who needs you to be very decisive. You know what I'm saying? She's also a singer. She just says whatever is on her mind. And she's married to a man who can't make a decision. That's real wild. You know what I'm saying? It feels like he might get, or at least look on camera like someone who gets railroaded or, kind of mushy in the center. Kind of mushy in the center, okay? Like the Pillsbury Doughboy. So even though in this scene she was being very soft-spoken and loving and that kind of thing, she's letting us know that, bitch, just like I had to force him to marry me, I'm forcing him to leave Memphis, where he shares a practice with his daddy, to follow me here to Atlanta so I can be on this show. He's going to pay for this fucking house. He's going to have to figure out how to get his license in Atlanta and open up a dentistry here. So I'm like, well, I would have loved to see the conversation that y'all had to get here, because that takes a lot too. You have a built practice. Now you got to build a new practice. You got to get clients and patients in this new practice. That's crazy. I would be like, you know what, girl? Let me see if I can buy myself into somebody else's practice first. But I'm going to stay out here in Memphis until that gets done. But the stuff that we're learning in the scene was, I don't know. I was like, I think she thinks it sounds good, but that's not good. That's not good. And then she ends it with, child, listen, she even questioned God. She said, everybody knows I wanted a little girl, but God thought it would be funny to give me a boy. And I want my baby. I want my baby girl. And she's just saying it out loud, like, I'm gonna get my baby girl. And her husband's like, yeah, she's gonna get it. Sir, do you have any say so in what happens in your relationship? I don't know. It felt crazy. It felt crazy. But we'll see what happens next, child. They're gonna get them damn moments on camera. Right now, everything seems easy peasy. But Kay's not an easy peasy woman. I'm not saying that she's horrible. I'm just saying that she picked an interesting partner. That's all. Come on in, come on in. Ty said, look, do you have any balls? Any. Okay. Erica said that I agree with you. Yeah, child. We don't see what happens next, but that's where they are so far. Okay, let's move on. Kelly, Shamia, and Angela, they meet up to go shopping, child. This scene floored me just a little bit. This scene with the things that Shamia said, I was like, oh, there's something going on here. We're going to find out though. Anyway, Kelly tells the ladies that her husband, her ex-husband, went to a distasteful blogger to talk about her. And the blogger happens to be Tasha K. Now, I did not see that interview Tasha K did with her husband or ex-husband. I remember things coming out where he said things like, she lied on me on that show. I think that was the biggest part of it. He felt like Kelly lied on him, saying that she was beaten by him and stuff like that. And he said that never happened. He talked about the finances and, he basically made it seem like Kelly manipulated him. Anyway, Kelly says here, Tasha K is a distasteful blogger. And then she goes on to say that man wants to hurt me and he's not going to stop until he gets what he wants. Which was a wild statement to say. What does the end game look like then if it's what he wants? Are you saying that he's going to do harm to you? Because last season you said you had to walk around with a security guard and, you had a driver and all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of curious if she still has that now or not. But that's how she leaves it. He's not going to stop until he gets what he wants. Anyway, Angela asked Kelly, thank goodness, how's your finances, boo? Okay. You got this crazy ass husband. And like I said, you were saying last year, you had to walk around with security. How's your finances? Are you able to afford the security? Kelly tells Angela, it's good. I'm doing okay. But in confessional, Kelly said that she's over $100,000 in debt. And even though she was able to open up the Shady Springs location, it was barely, and she paid 50,000 of 100,000 that she owed to the landlord just to rent the space. So she's out in renovation. She doesn't have money for operation fees or any of that stuff, it sounds like, and that's why it closed so early. But she's saying one thing to the girls and something else different to confessional, to the producers, okay? She also says that everybody's invited to the Sandy Springs grand opening, so she wants everybody to come, including Porsha. And she said, yeah, so I had tea, a little lunch date with Porsha, and she accused me of sleeping with a married man. And then you hear Shamia said, no, she didn't. And she said, yes, she did. Porsha this, Porsha that. And Shamia said, did you call her that to her face? Kelly said, no, but I'm saying it now. And she was like, oh. You know what I'm saying? When she does that, when she said, did you call her that to her face? She was shocked, like, bitch, are you still standing here? If you see fear in the eyes of someone who knows Porsha well, I would just pull back the horses. I would pull back the horses for a second. Come on in. You said you viewed the interview. I did not see that interview. Anyway, you would think that she would have did that, but no. Shamia, she ends up telling Shamia that at the end of the meeting, she said, listen, girl, you want to hug it out like you did Drew? Like she was trying to punk Porsha, right? You couldn't even stand on all 10 with Drew. Porsha stood on all 10 with Drew, boo. Just like she's going to stand on all 10 with you. But anyway, Shamia says, well, after she says, did you want to hug it out? She said, did you hug her? She said, yeah. She said, I wouldn't have. However, this is Shamia. I wouldn't have done that shit. I wouldn't have hugged her. However, you did the right thing. De-escalate when it comes to Porsha. Because basically, that bitch will whoop your ass. And I thought that was interesting coming from Shamia because, baby, you put the battery in that girl's back. You could have given her this warning off camera. That way she didn't look like such a punk. Because what you did is let the audience know you put your money on Porsha when it comes to your BFF. That's what you did to me. Because I was like, well, girl, well, you could have her back more. Or at the very minimum, you could say, you know what? You ain't got no real beef with her. So just end it. Let it be. But that's not what you're doing. That was interesting. That was interesting. Anyway, after it was all said and done, this is what I have to say about Kelly, because this is what I'm seeing with her. I already told y'all that everybody knows Kenya made her mark on the show going after Porsha. Porsha had accidentally called her Miss America or whatever. She messed up her title. And from that, it was on and popping. But Kenya came on as a loner. She didn't know anybody. She wasn't friends with anybody. And so she didn't give a who she offended. Kelly is a sidekick of a sidekick. She's never going to win. Kenya came on saying, bitch, I'll be the villain. I understand the villain role. I'll be the villain because I don't have any real investment in these people. Kelly does have investment with these people. She wants to be a friend of. I don't know. I don't know why she's not understanding this. I hate when these girls get on the show and they don't do their research good. They just think that if they say something slick about one of the OGs, they win. Y'all always crash out. This is exactly what happened to Britt. You are going to crash out for sure by the time this season is over because you don't understand who you're fooling with. Oh my God. Yes. The whole, hey, Ashley, all that shit. That's iconic. Nobody's going to go back and repeat the shit you say, Kelly. Nobody cares. First of all, you're repeating things that's already been debunked. I don't care how many times they do a flashback of Simon and Porsha. Simon's been married 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Okay. He was the one with all the money. He was the one who had the lawyer type up the prenup. He's the business guy. Also, anybody who knows Simon in Atlanta, I don't know Simon. I've never, outside of the TV show, but I had T come to me about who Simon actually was with previous wives and what he would do when he was frustrated. So the fact that you keep taking up for this man while at the same time saying that your husband did ex-husband did certain things to you, it's all questionable. I don't fuck with Kelly right now. I don't like her. That's all I'm going to say. And please cut it out. You're never going to be a Kenya. Ever, ever, ever. Thank you guys. Hit the like button, share the video, hit the like button, share the video. And I understand that a lot of bloggers have not talked about it. None of us have, but that is tea that came to me. So if it came to me, it's come to everybody. They're just choosing not to talk about it. Okay. Next scene, Drew Sidora. She has a movie opening, a premiere actually. And then we see Claudia Jordan back on the show, back on RHOA again. Okay. She's actually in the movie with Drew Sidora, I believe. And so they have, I guess a premiere at one of the movie theaters. I don't know which one, but I do know that First was there, who is the same guy who is on Bell Collective Jackson. So First was there, but all of the ladies show up and, you know, they're there to support Drew. It was real cool. Angela and Phaedra are the first people to meet up. And Angela basically apologizes to Phaedra for that corny ass bullshit that happened last year because nothing came of it. So why keep it rolling? Right? At the end, you looked silly. And I liked Angela last season. She was real cool. I really liked Charles too. But she said, listen, I'm really sorry that, you know, that went down between us. Let's, you know, move past it if we could move forward. And Phaedra was actually shocked to hear her say that because she said something like, I'm happy to see you here. And Phaedra, when you happy to see me? Okay. That's Phaedra. She was like, yeah, well, I hope we can move forward. Phaedra said, we'll try. We'll see what we can do. Because you know what? I don't want you as my friend. You have to prove yourself to me. I don't need any more friends. I'm not hungry, anxious, none of the things, bitch. So sure, you can say we move forward. I'm taking all the baby steps. Well, I'll see you on set, and that's it. I'm out after that, right? I actually thought that was cool that Phaedra checked her a little bit and said, girl, forward my ass, okay? Either way, Phaedra said that the whole thing was bogus. It was BS. She's happy that she's done with it. I hope you find the real criminals, okay? The glove didn't fit with me. Go away. Anyway, Porsha and Sway, Porsha's new date come in, okay? And this shocks the hell out of everybody standing there. Everybody's like, girl, what? Okay. Sway is the perfect lady. Okay. She's asking, like, what do y'all want to drink? You know what I'm saying? Just like when the men come into the scene, they're like, what do you want to? I got it. What you want to drink? Blah, blah, blah. Sway does the same thing. What y'all want to drink? Let me hook y'all up. And then when she leaves, they asked Porsha, where's the other guy? Where's Bless, bitch? What's going on? You got more chemistry with this woman than you had with Mike. And y'all was sitting beside each other all night. Y'all didn't even look like y'all wanted to kiss each other for real. But in this scene, right now, you and Sway look like y'all want to lick each other up and down right now. Okay? You can tell when Porsha is real happy to be in a situation. That's all I'm saying. You said I'm heterosexual, but I got to tell you, Sway is sexy. You said you don't think that Angela lied, but someone may have lied on her. Phaedra is known for the shits. That she is. But let's see if something else happens. Anyway, they basically ask her 50 questions about what she got going on. Drew Sidora does not give a care anymore. And I have to say, I'm going to like Drew Sidora this season. Drew has always been held back because she didn't want to say things that she thought maybe was going to offend her mother, or I don't know, whatever community she didn't want to offend. But now Drew is just saying what's on her soul. And I have to say, bravo, girl. This might be the perfect you for this season. Good for you for getting under whatever the shell was that was keeping your ass suppressed. But she says to Miss Porsha Williams, oh, you pulling a me. And Porsha looked like, girl, are we talking about it? I don't know if we're talking about it. But in confessional, Porsha said, did you hear it? She basically speaking on her situation. And that's when the cameras roll back. We get a flashback of Andy Cohen asking Drew if she was dating Ty. The same Ty that was dating Mimi from Real Housewives, or excuse me, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, right? The basketball player. And yeah, pretty cool that she was able to say that. I'm happy you were out the, just do what you got to do. Live your life, girl. Anyway, after that, Phaedra makes a comment. Phaedra said, listen, Porsha's a free spirit, okay? She loves to love. Then she said, if you got the capital, okay, you might have a chance with Porsha. She said, if you got the money for the puss, she actually says a word, but if you got the money for the puss, then you got the money for the Porsche. Actually, she kind of attached puss to Porsha and said, the Porsche. The Porsche is what you got the money for. That was hilarious. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm going to enjoy Phaedra's off-camera moments. I'm gonna need that Southern Belle to come on out, okay? But yeah, she said that's what it is, and right now she seems fucking happy, okay? In fact, she's so happy. I need to learn more about this. We need to be double dating and all kinds of things. Now, what I have heard, someone dropped some tea into my comment section a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago, where she said that Sway is also an actress and that she does those Country Wayne skits, or at least she was doing the same Country Wayne skits as Mike Bless. Okay, so apparently in the Country Wayne skits, Sway stole Mike Bless's girl the same way it appears to be happening in real life right now with Porsha. It happened already in those damn skits. And that Sway and Mike Bless might have real bad blood in real life. Sway might be, a better person. I think that Mike Bless might have been just a little bit ego bruised in thinking that Porsha dumped him, took him off of RHOA, because once she dumps him, he's not coming back. But took him off of RHOA and put Sway on. What's up, Belicious? Hey, Miss Harris. That was funny to me. And that's real life. But if y'all know Porsha, if y'all watch any episode with Porsha and a man, when Porsha has a chemistry with you, she has a chemistry with you. And production proved it by flashing back to her and Candy when Candy said, bitch, you was kissing me in the club and telling me you wanted to lick my... And they played the all of it. No bleeping out. And then you hear Kenya talk about, well, shit, LaToya was grinding all on top of Porsha. And Porsha said, listen, me being with women is the worst kept secret on this show. So I'm not even in a place to deny it anymore, child. I got too much shit that it is what it is. Y'all done heard it. Y'all know what it is. I'm not going to try to, make excuses for it. Yes, I've done it in the past. Didn't want to talk about it. Now I am dating a woman. Enjoy. Anyway, the scene ends with Angela telling Porsha that Kelly called her Porsha. And Porsha said Kelly is a fake ass bitch. And she will not be going to that grand opening. And that's how it ends. All right, now we are at Kelly's grand opening. And once again, Kelly misses the mark because Porsha's not there. So really, she could have just, put everything into her, but she made more than half the scene where she was in it about Porsha. Porsha sends a dozen, maybe more, 24 roses, beautiful red roses. When they come to the table, instead of Kelly just being real gracious and saying, oh, thank you, now let's not take this shit off of Porsha, she has to say, fuck those flowers. No, I don't want anything to do with Porsha and her flowers. Then she makes another scene all about the tea date. Everything and she said I was with a married man. And Porsha, when Porsha was at her dinner party and you tried to get slick with her, she was like, pipe down. Okay, pipe down, strawberry shortcake. I'm not about to make this about you. I'm going to do exactly what I need to do in this scene. And it's about me. You and I will have another meeting where I'll make it about you and really about me. But she did not let her do it. Nope. Kelly lets Porsha overtake the scene and Porsha's not even there. So now everybody has Porsha on the brain. Then Porsha calls and passes the phone. I think it was Miss Cynthia passes the phone down to Kelly. And she does it again. Why aren't you here? Well, you should have been here. Okay, saying all kinds of slick and, well, too bad. You missed your chance. Porsha passes the phone back down. And now everybody's like, well, bitch, she's about to stump a mud hole in your ass. I mean, like, people are literally bucking their eyes, not because they think you're brave, but because they're thinking, you're doing too much. That's number one. Even Shamia was looking at you like, girl, give me the phone. You look bad. You look bad. So Shamia's trying to take the phone out your hand. But after it was all said and done, Porsha won the scene, which is unfortunate. Then we have a scene between Shamia and Drew, because Drew wants Shamia to know that she's not a punk. Okay? I'm not a punk. I don't accept that bullshit apology that you gave me in a video. And at the end of it, it sounds like he was trying to threaten me. Who do you think I am? And by the way, Drew looks amazing this season. She's lost some weight this season. Not that she didn't look amazing before, but she looks amazing. She looks like the game Drew. Okay. So anyway, Drew's letting Shamia know I'm not a punk. When Shamia has back and forth with people, she does this real annoying kid sister type of energy. You said, and I'm like, girl, grow up. Oh my God. All of a sudden her mother gets in the scene and she, don't make me take my pad off. And she starts doing this speech prayer. And Drew is sitting there looking at her mama like, my mama is a whole minister. Don't do that over me. Don't do that over me, girl. Anyway, after it was all said and done, Drew was like, I don't give a shit. I just want Shamia to know that I'm not to be played with. Drew is standing firm in her peach this year. She said, you tried to go after me because I was having an issue with Porsha last year. You inserted yourself. You became her fucking lapdog. Let's not pretend you didn't. And now that me and Porsha are cool again, now you want to pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about. But that's cool. Good. I'm happy she confronted her. Hey, Erica, welcome to the chat, girl. I'm happy she confronted her. I think, like I said, Drew seems like she got the monkey off her shoulder. So now she can just be free and say what she want to say and do what she want to do. Congrats to her on her new movie, by the way. I've watched all of her movies on Tubi and otherwise, and I loved her in the game. Drew was like one of my favorite folk on the game. So I think she's getting her energy back, her old spirit, and it's good to see. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all. Listen, y'all got people in the chat saying, please hit that thumbs up. Thank you, girl. I see other people were asking too. I appreciate all of y'all for helping me out. Get the thumbs up, baby. Okay, last scene, y'all, is Miss K. Michelle. You said next season is going to be a doozy for her. I think that she's going to be very honest next season. If this is what she's given us now, about the more salacious parts of her life, I think she's going to be very honest. So I'm looking forward to Drew telling a real story, because you know what? It's hard to do. It's very hard to balance being a movie star and, doing music and all of the creative piece of you that God has calling you to do, and also have a parent that might not want to help you because they don't want to see you go as far as you would like to go. So I hope that either her and Ralph get to a better place where, he can let her do what she needs to do and also be a mama to her children. Maybe that'll happen. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, K. Michelle, y'all. K. Michelle is about to do a country music concert, okay? She's about to do a country music concert, and this is like a real big deal. It is in honor of a person whose name escapes me at the moment, but a Black woman. And she said that the fact that they called on her was like real huge, and she wasn't going to miss it for anything in the world. So she is backstage waiting for her moment to come out and do whatever tribute song she was supposed to do. And when she stands up, her butt popped like in real life. She's leaking. And she said she got up off the couch and looked down. She said there was liquid everywhere. The entire cushion is soaked. And so she's freaking out. And she said it never happened to her before. But I can't imagine that something like that would happen to you for the first time and your ass wouldn't be at the doctor's office right then and there. Call the ambulance. I'm dying. I don't know what's happened to me. And the only thing that I can think of, I don't know if y'all ever saw She's Gotta Have It, the series on Netflix, the Spike Lee series. I think his wife was actually the producer or director for it. Anyway, there's a scene where there is like a go-go dancer who got one of those illegal butt injections, and it was huge, 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 huge. Anyway, she's up there dancing and she slips and falls, and when she fell, her butt popped and everybody got sprayed. Was awful. It's worth watching though. That's a great series. Everybody got sprayed and she was sick and had to be in the hospital for a very long time. I think even went into a coma. But the stuff that happens with those butt shots, and the fact that Kay is being so open and honest in sharing it, except for that part, because when she said, "Child, I didn't know what was happening to me," I said, "Well, bitch, you'd be at the doctor if you didn't know what's happening." But she felt comfortable enough to go in the bathroom, tape herself up, have someone blow dry her dress so that she can go on stage and sing her face off. Okay? And she said, after I sung my face off and had a team of people help me clean me up, dry my dress so that I can go out there and sing, I went back home. And then I had to go to the emergency room. And we see her in emergency with, I guess, a friend of hers. And the doctor comes in and he says to her, "You have an infection and we have to go back in like we did the last time and do a reconstructive surgery." So this has happened before. I want Kay to, I know it's probably kind of embarrassing when you have this story. And so sometimes you tell it like you're unaware or unsure, but I want her to be as honest as she possibly can and telling me stories. That way, it just seems more genuine, but I'm giving her a pass. Okay. Either way, because she sat there and she said, the doctor tells her, Don't eat anything else. Go home. As soon as that emergency room open, baby, we're going to have your ass here. I don't care if it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever the case. Just don't eat. And when we give you the call, you drive up here and we're going to get you ready for this 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever number it is, reconstructive surgery. And then she explains it. And she starts crying. And I'm happy that whoever her friend wasn't crying with her. I'm happy that that friend didn't get up out their seat to dry her eyes. That friend sat there and let her tell her story because, bitch, this is a story we done heard before already. You've been on other TV shows talking about it. But she said, listen, I hate that I did this to myself. I don't know what was happening in my head mentally, emotionally, but I had a fat ass. I had an amazing bottom. Okay. I brought all the boys to the yard already. And for whatever reason, it had to be bigger and fatter and wider. And I kept getting them shots. And now I have fucked myself up. And I blame myself. And she starts crying for a second. And the girl said, you got to give yourself some grace. Whoever was in the room with her, you got to give yourself some grace. We all do things that we're not proud of, that, you know, once we get through that phase, we've learned from. But you got to give yourself some grace. It is what it is, girl. You're still talented. You're still beautiful. You just got married. You're trying to have a baby. Like, keep living your life. But she has some regrets. So anyway, that was it. That was the story. That's how it ended. We'll see what happens next week. Anyway, I'm liking the season so far. I really am. I'm looking forward to everyone's story. And the people that I think are most improved this season is Miss Drew Sidor, which I already said. So far, Drew, thumbs up, girl. Because last season I was like, what is happening? You were driving me batty, but I like you this season. I like Porsha. I've always liked Porsha. I'm looking forward to seeing, even though people don't give her props, they love to call her stupid and all that shit. Porsha is a prime example of how to keep it punching. I made a mistake. I did something wrong. I'm not supposed to hide under a rock to make you feel better. I'm going to get everything that I'm supposed to have in this life. She's never let any of the shit that she's done in the past stop her. And I think that people need to see strong characters like that. I like that. Pinky Cole, I'm very interested in seeing her story play out on the show. Who else? I'm going to say I'm happy that Angela said, I'm done with this storyline about Phaedra. I'm happy she's saying she's not going to carry it. Shamia and Kelly are two people that they're still on hold for me. I'm not sure how I feel about them yet. I'm hoping that they don't make everything Porsha, but I don't see them not. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let me see. First, let me thank my girl, Ty, because she is always so generous with me, and I really appreciate you. Thank you. You said, great review. Drew lost parental rights in her home. So yes, I did a story about this the other day. I was like one of the first to break it. But yes, Miss Drew, and she did confirm that it happened. A lot of people didn't believe her, but she did confirm it. Y'all know when Drew and Ralph were divorcing, they had to separate the house. So Ralph got the downstairs, which is kind of like an apartment, and Drew had the upstairs. And on the weeks, I think Drew had more weeks than Ralph. I think she had the kids 3 weeks out of the month, not 50-50. And Ralph had the children 1 week out of the month, just so you're aware. On the 1 week that Ralph had the kids, he got to stay in the home and he gained custody of the upstairs. He was able to stay there, and Drew had to leave for the 1 week because they didn't want to uproot the kids. The kids get to stay in the house. Okay. So unfortunately, Drew has a lot of stuff going on, and I guess she didn't have the help she needed. Maybe she needed to get a nanny, maybe her mother, her sister, I don't know. But it sounds like they're having financial problems too. And so Drew, y'all know, has been on tour. She's singing and Chicago. She's opening for Tamar. She had a lot of stuff happening to roll out her album. She got a second album on the way. And I think that the kids' school was sacrificed on her week. So what the judge ended up saying was that the kids missed an excessive amount of school. And they basically took primary custody from her and gave it to Ralph, even though Ralph only had the kids for that 1 week. He was good at getting them to school, you know what I'm saying? But Drew had a hard time balancing her professional and her parenting. And a lot of people were upset, but I really would like to hear Drew's story. And sometimes, it might just be that she can't do it, that she has to give the kids to Ralph during the school year. And maybe it switches up. Maybe she gets to have them all summer. I don't know. We'll see. But it is a story that I'm interested in. And it's interesting because Michelle Obama just had this conversation where she said, women, we love to think that we can have it all, but we can't. We have to decide where in life we want to be in our career, in our being a parent and stuff like that. So if she tells that story, Drew will have probably one of the most meaningful and powerful stories on television as a Black woman who's in the industry. I think that would be a phenomenal story to tell. We'll see. And I hope that her and Ralph can work things out, because I do think that kids benefit from being around their mother more. I hate to say it like that, but yes, it definitely opens up the door. We'll see. The divorce is not finalized yet. They're still in the throes of divorce, but Drew does have to move out of that house by May 31st and give Ralph the entire house. She also has to, if I'm not mistaken, continue paying for half the bills as in the current arrangement. And I don't know if that will change. I don't know. But I do, it's heartbreaking, Anyway, I wish her the best. And I think that she's at the height of her career now. Her name is being said in a lot of rooms. She is doing a lot of movies. She talked about it in the episode last night. It's a sacrifice. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Good season so far. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. And of course, you guys are amazing. I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming over and supporting the channel. Thank y'all so much. Hit the like button, share the video on your way out. Become a subscriber if you are not already. Thank everybody who bought a side dish and hung out with me in the chat. And thank you to Miss Ty for blessing the channel. I love every single one of y'all. And until the next time, which, by the way, let me put this back on screen. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing Bell Collective Birmingham, same time, 11:30. Make sure all of y'all come and support that show, because Bell Collective Birmingham was great. It's going to be an amazing, amazing season. But yeah, come back, okay? Make sure your notification bells are on. Until the next time, I will see you guys. Bye-bye.